Purposive communication in English. Body language messages. We send without words like smiling, waving, or how we sit. Tone. How high or low your voice is when you talk. It changes how people take what you say. Multimodal. Using more than two ways to share a message. Example, text plus pictures plus sound. Literary analysis. Writing about a book, story to understand its meaning and how the writer made it good. Informative speech. A talk that teaches you something, like explaining how to cook or what a planet is. Persuasive speech. A talk that tries to make you think or do something, like convincing you to recycle. Interview. When two or more people talk, with one asking questions and others answering, like a job interview. Epistolary. A story or book written as a bunch of letters. Intercultural communication. When people from different cultures talk and share ideas respectfully. Ethnocentrism. Thinking your own culture is better than others and judging them for being different. Debates. When people argue different sides of a topic to challenge each other's ideas. Infrastructural signs. Labels or directions for buildings, places, like exit signs or keep off grass. Transmission. How a person sends a message so the other person can understand it. Flip charts. Big pads of paper on stands, used to show information during talks. You flip pages from the top. PowerPoint. A computer program to make slideshows for presentations. Google Classroom. Free online tool by Google for schools. Helps teachers and students share work, make assignments, and grade easily. Pidgin. A new simple language that forms when people who speak different languages need to talk to each other. Formal register. How we talk, write in serious settings like work, school, or law. It's respectful and follows rules. Informal register. Casual way of talking, writing to friends or people you know well. Language register. The way we adjust how we speak, write based on who we're talking to. Channel. The way we send messages, like talking face to face, texting, or emailing. The medium. Semantics. The study of what words and sentences actually mean. Example, sentence, she is bright. Meaning 1. She gives light. Meaning 2. She is intelligent. Intrapersonal communication. Talking to yourself, like thinking, imagining, or remembering things. Visual communication. Using pictures, charts, or other visuals to share information or messages. Netizens. People who use the internet regularly, citizens of the online world. Native language. The main language most people in a country speak. Protagoras. Known as the father of debate. Aristotle. Known as the father of modern communication. Proofreading. Checking a final piece of writing to fix mistakes like typos. Plagiarism. Taking someone else's words, ideas, or work and pretending it's your own. Semiotics. The study of how signs or symbols, like words, images, create meaning. Global village. The idea that the whole world is like one big neighborhood, connected by things like the internet and electronic messages. Globalization. How people, businesses, and governments around the world interact and become more connected to each other. Frozen register. Very formal language that never changes, like the Philippine national anthem, the Constitution, or parts of the Bible. Communication. Sharing facts, thoughts, and opinions so that people or groups understand each other. Speech communication. Working on getting better and more confident at talking to others, whether in front of a crowd, one-on-one, or in small groups. Demonstration speech. A talk that shows people how something works or how to do it themselves. Descriptive speech. A talk that paints a clear, detailed, word picture of a person, animal, place, or thing. Explanatory speech. A talk that gives information about current or past events, traditions, new ideas, rules, results, and choices. Persuasion. A way of talking or writing that uses reason and logic to make people think or act a certain way. Eulogy. A speech given to honor someone who has passed away. Manuscript speaking. Reading a speech exactly as it was written, word for word. Proxemics. Studying how people use space and how far apart they stand when communicating. Object language. Using things like clothes, jewelry, or other objects to send a message or help with communication. Jargon. Special words or terms used only by people in a certain job, field, or group. Medical jargon is a term to describe the language used that is specific to the medical industry. Examples of medical jargon include descriptive words such as cardi-o for things relating to the heart, or osti-o for things relating to bones. Articulation. Making sure the sounds you make when speaking are clear and easy to understand. Pragmatics. Knowing how to use language in real-life situations the right way. Vernacular. The everyday language that most people use, no matter their age, social class, gender, or race. Consultative register. A way of talking when you're speaking to someone who knows more about a topic or is giving you advice, like talking to a doctor or teacher. Extemporaneous speech. A talk that's planned a little, with notes or an outline, but mostly spoken on the spot without reading word for word. Regional dialect. Not a separate language, it's a way people speak the same national language in a specific area, like how people in different parts of the Philippines might say some words differently. World Englishes. Different types of English used in parts of the world where English has been used for a long time, often because of past colonial ties, in schools, business, and government, like Philippine English, Indian English. Social media. Apps or websites that let people create and share their own content, like posts, photos, videos, online. Speeches about events. Talks that focus on things that happened before, are happening now, or will happen later. Demonstrational speech. A talk that shows how to do something or how a process works, like teaching someone to cook or fix a gadget. Phonology. The system of sounds in a language that give meaning. It's like a set of rules for how sounds work together. Language acquisition. How humans learn to understand and use language, like how kids pick up their first language. Decoding. When the person receiving a message figures out what it means by turning symbols, like words or images, into ideas. Single-strand communication. Information moves in a straight line, one person passes it to the next, then to the next, and so. Probability chain. Information gets passed around randomly from one person to another, no set order. Gossip chain. A casual group chat where everyone talks to each other freely. Inner circle, expanding circle. Inner circle equals places where English is a native language, like the US or UK. Expanding circle equals places where English is used as a foreign language, like the Philippines. 7 C's of communication. What it is. Rules to make messages clear and effective. Example. If you text your boss about a delay. Clarity. The report will be late because the data wasn't sent on time, not vague. Correctness. No typos or wrong info. Conciseness. Keep it short, no extra stories. Courtesy. Sorry for the delay. I'll finish by 5 p.m., polite. Concreteness. I need 2 more hours to finalize graphs, specific. Consideration. Think about their schedule, don't text at midnight. Completeness. Say when it'll be done and why it was late, no missing details. Legalese. What is it? Fancy, hard to understand language used in legal papers. Example. A contract line like, the undersigned party hereby agrees to indemnify and hold harmless. Most people need a lawyer to explain it. Register. What is it? The way you talk, write depending on who you're with or where you are. Example. With friends. Hey, wanna grab food later? Casual register. In class. Good morning, ma'am. May I ask a question? Formal register. Upward communication. Employees talking to their bosses to share feedback or concerns. Example. A cashier tells their manager, customers are complaining about long lines. Maybe we need an extra checkout during busy hours. Downward communication. Bosses, management sharing info with employees, like rules or updates. Example. If you're in a meeting and roll your eyes when someone makes a bad point, that look tells others how you feel, even if you don't speak. Nonverbal communication. Sending messages without words, using body language, facial expressions, etc. Encoder. The person, group who creates the message to send to others. Example. A teacher writing a lesson plan. They're the encoder turning ideas into a plan students can follow. Linguistic landscape. Things you see around you that send messages without needing to talk. Example. Street signs that say, one way, billboards for soda, or a cafe's open sign. You understand what they mean just by looking. Geosemiotics. Studying what signs mean based on where they are and how they're made. Example. A red stop sign with white letters. The color, red equals warning, shape, octagon equals important, and words all work together to tell drivers to stop. Regulatory signs. Official signs that tell you what you must or must not do, often legal rules. No parking sign with a fine notice. It's from the government to enforce a rule. Commercial signs. Signs that sell or promote something, products, events, services. Example. A billboard for a new movie that says, in cinemas now. It's meant to get people to buy tickets. Noise. Anything that gets in the way of understanding a message. Example. If you're on a call with a friend and there's loud construction outside, you can't hear what they're saying, so the message is hard to understand. Shannon-Weaver model, mother of all models. A basic way to explain how communication works. Sender right pointing arrow message right pointing arrow channel right pointing arrow receiver. Example. You text your friend, let's meet at 3 p.m. You're the sender, the text is the message, the phone is the channel, and your friend is the receiver. If there's bad service, noise, they might not get it. Context. The situation or place where communication happens affects how messages are understood. Example. If someone says, great job, it means one thing if you just won a game, but something different if you made a mistake and they're being sarcastic. The context changes the meaning. Email as a communication channel. A good way to send messages when the person needs time to think before replying. Example. You email your professor asking if you can change your project topic. They can read it, think about it, and respond carefully later, instead of having to answer right away in person. Communication models. Lasswell's model asks, who, what, how, to whom, what effect. Example. A teacher, who, explains math, what, using a whiteboard, how, channel, to students, to whom, and most pass their test, effect. Channel, here means checking if the whiteboard was a good choice. Aristotle's linear model. One-way flow, speaker right pointing arrow audience. Good for speeches or spreading messages. Example. A politician giving a campaign speech to a crowd. They talk, people listen, no back and forth right then. Barnland's transactional model. Everyone sends and receives messages at the same time. Shared experiences help. Example, friends talking about a movie they all watched. One says, "I love the ending," while another shakes their head, sending feedback, and says, "It was confusing." Both are senders and receivers. Dance's helical model. Communication grows over time, like a spiral. It never stays the same. Example, when you first meet someone, you talk about small things, weather. Later, you share deeper stuff, dreams. Your chats build and change as you know each other better. Shannon and Weaver's model splits communication into 6 parts, plus noise, something that messes it up. Example, you text, sender, meet at 3 inches, encode, send via mobile data, channel, but bad signal, noise, makes it say, meet at 8 inches. Your friend reads it wrong, decode, receiver. Schramm's interactive model. Ideas only matter if you share them clearly. Messages go both ways. Example, you ask a friend, "What's for lunch?" Send. They say, "Sandwiches, want one?" Reply back. Types of communication. Mass communication. Sending to big groups via words, writing. Example, a news channel broadcasting a storm warning to everyone watching TV. Written communication. Used for faraway people or keeping records. Example, emailing your boss about a project. They're in another city. You save the email in case there's a question later. Oral communication. Best for quick feedback. Example, asking a barista, "Can I get extra sugar in my coffee?" They say, "Sure," right away, so you don't worry about getting it wrong. Nonverbal communication. Haptics. Touch to communicate. Example, hugging a friend who's sad to show you care. Proxemics. Distance between people matters. Example, standing close to your family when talking, but keeping space from a stranger. Being too close to a stranger might make them uncomfortable. Horizontal, lateral communication. Sharing info between people, departments at the same level, no boss-subordinate gap. Example, 2 team leaders, one from design, one from production, chatting about how to finish a project on time. Jargon, barrier to communication. Complex or technical words only understood by people in a specific field. Example, a computer technician saying, "RAM upgrade," to someone who doesn't know it means adding more memory to your device. This causes confusion. Democratic atmosphere in class. A class where students feel free to speak, ask questions, and share ideas. Example, the teacher asks, "What should we do for our class project?" and lets every student suggest ideas without cutting them off. Speech. Talking to share thoughts, where both speaker and listener understand the words used. Example, a student giving a short talk about their favorite sport to the class.
Ver los SMCR model.
A simple way to explain communication, with 4 parts. Sender, who sends. Message, what's sent. Channel, how it's sent. Receiver, who gets it. Example, your mom, sender, calls you, receiver, on the phone. Channel, to say, "Don't forget to eat dinner," message. Ethical communicator traits, egalitarian, respectful, trustworthy. Communicating fairly, kindly, and honestly. Example, a group leader who lets everyone share their opinions, egalitarian, doesn't laugh at others' ideas, respectful, and keeps their promise to help finish tasks, trustworthy. Written communication. Messages that are written down, on paper or screen. Example, a teacher sending an email to parents about a school event, or a printed memo about office rules. Feedback. A response showing you understood a message. Example, after a friend tells you they're sad, you say, "I understand. Let's hang out to cheer you up." Verbal feedback. Or give them a hug, action feedback. Kinesics. Studying body movements, gestures that communicate without words. Example, thumbs up to say, great job, or shaking your head to say, no. Physiological noise. Body-related things that distract you from listening, communicating. Trying to listen to a lecture but feeling very tired or having a stomachache. You can't focus well. Listening. Using your brain to hear, understand, and remember what's said. Example, listening to your teacher explain math problems, understanding how to solve them, and remembering the steps for homework. Reading. Understanding written words by recognizing them, getting their meaning, and staying interested. Example, reading a comic book. You know what each word means, follow the story, and want to read more. 4 macro communication skills. The main ways we communicate: listening, speaking, reading, writing. Example, having a chat with a friend, listening plus speaking, or doing a book report, reading plus writing. Semantic noise. Confusion from not understanding words, language, or how a message is structured. Example, a tourist from another country hears a local say, let's grab some merienda, but doesn't know it means, let's have a mid-afternoon snack. They misinterpret the message. Physiological noise. Physical or bodily things that distract you from listening, communicating. Example, if you're very hungry during a class discussion, your stomach growling and focus on food make it hard to pay attention to what your teacher is saying. Communication process. Sender right pointing arrow, channel right pointing arrow, receiver. How messages get shared and understood, with 3 main parts. Example, your friend, sender, sends you a text message, channel, saying, let's eat. You, receiver, read and understand it.